So in today's uh, in today's session, we will try to explore what are the different kind of network, just like mobile ad hoc network, sensor network, or any hybrid kind of network, and what is mobile IP. Okay, so these are the network which are also part of the next generation network because we can't imagine a network without integrating all kind of network. So this is also very important part. But in the next generation network, we will see next generation mobile ad hoc network or advanced sensor network or integration of this thing which will mix both the advantage of the cellular kind of network and the fixed kind of network. So we can also imagine hybrid kind of network. Okay. So first of all, we have to understand what are the different types of network, and then we will try to integrate it. Okay. So this is the two-way mechanism in which we try to integrate this kind of schemes, and as well as afterward we will try to explore how can we utilize the internet kind of services via in home network or the home state. And if you are away from the home state, then how the service provider are managing our internet services when we are in the local zone or where we are in the foreign zone. Now, in this regard, I think we have to clear about the cellular and the ad hoc network. Okay. First, it is suggested that if we are referring cellular, then it has some kind of infrastructure. And what does it mean? Infrastructure, it means if we want to establish the network, if we want to configure the network, then the center entity, which is also known as tower or access point or the PTS, is necessary to configure the network. Okay, the minimal requirement is the center entity. Without of it, we can't create the network. Okay, for a time being, we can consider any example which we are creating with the uh, help of the tower or the cellular network, or we can also constitute our network with the help of Wi-Fi access point. Okay, so this is also one of the example of the cellular, sorry, infrastructure based kind of network. Okay, what are the infrastructure based network? Okay, uh, with which generally uh, doesn't require any kind of infrastructure or central entity. Okay, so once they will on their interface, just like you will on your Bluetooth device, I will on my Bluetooth, and in this way we can connect directly. Okay, so there is no requirement of any central entity. Okay, central entity just like Wi-Fi access point or any tower. Okay, just like you can't make any call if there is no tower or signal inside your mobile phone. है ना, बहुत कॉमन प्रॉब्लम है। अगर मोबाइल में कोई सिग्नल ही नहीं है तो यू कांट मेक द कॉल, यू कांट कॉल टू समवन, okay, even you can't utilize the internet services in the similar context. Okay, in the similar context, the cellular network work, Wi-Fi network works, and if you are considering ad hoc network, then ad hoc network don't require this kind of infrastructure. We have to on our interface only, and they automatically establish their network on demand basis. So on the fly basis, on the demand basis, it is created. That's why we are referring ad hoc. Okay, ad hoc always refer on demand or on the fly basis we are creating this network. That's why it is known as the ad hoc kind of network. Okay, so one more twist is also there in the ad hoc network. There is a special case in the ad hoc network which is also known as the sensor network. Okay, what does it mean? So, first of all, sensor network is a type of ad hoc network where most of the nodes are generally static and they have some sensing mechanism or they have some kind of sensor. Now, just consider the example of any humidity sensor which you have deployed inside the agriculture field, and the working of this kind of sensor is to just monitor the humidity and the temperature is of ground field. Okay, so in this condition, they will silently monitor each and every activity, and they will send this information to the sink or the internet node. Okay, but in this case we have to remember these nodes are not movable most of the time. Okay, the mobility facility, most of the time the sensor is not available. That's why we always refer sensors are the static kind of network. Whereas ad hoc is a broader category where node can be mobile and where node can be uh, any device, any sensor, any movable device, just like your mobile phone or any your laptop or laptop. Okay, so it's a broader category. Within the ad hoc network, we can say that yes, this is the sensor network. Okay, now try to integrate both the things. Most of the network or most of the mesh kind of network required both the thing together, just like WiMAX kind of facility. WiMAX, although it is a wireless static kind of network, but nodes are movable, but access points are static ones. So in this situation, we can also create hybrid wireless network. Okay, which uses the infrastructure and also infrastructure is not required. So we are integrating both the thing together to create the hybrid wireless kind of network. Okay, so we have three kind of network mainly: infrastructure based, infrastructure less, and the uh, combination of both the things, which is also known as the hybrid or the mesh network. Okay, so wireless LAN, it is an example when any base station or the Wi-Fi access point are there, and with the help of this access point, our laptop is able to get the connectivity. Now, A diagram, you can see that this is the example of typical Wi-Fi network where Wi-Fi access point are connected through the wired network, and Wi-Fi access point to the laptop we have wireless link. Okay, this is a very simple example of any wireless or Wi-Fi network. Now, the second example you can consider where these laptops are creating ad hoc network. Okay, so if you will visit your laptop networking area, then you can also configure or create the ad hoc kind of network. Okay, so in kind of ad hoc network, there is a single channel or multi-channel we can go through, or we can also select this kind of facility or how many channel we are selecting to create the ad hoc network. But most of the time it is a single channel, because if multiple nodes are communicating with each other, then definitely the packet will be dropped, because a single channel communication generally we can consider in the ad hoc network. Okay, if we are considering multiple, then sending and the receiving channel may be different. In this case, you can understand from this diagram, they have to on their Bluetooth or Wi-Fi device, and from this device itself, they are creating and configuring the ad hoc kind of network. Okay, so ad hoc or hybrid wireless network, what does it mean? So ad hoc network is the autonomous system of the mobile node connected through the wireless links, and it doesn't have any fixed infrastructure. And the hybrid networking combines the advantage of both the thing. I think we have already seen. Okay, so what are the advantage of the ad hoc? Okay, the ad hoc basically on demand kind of network, and we can take the advantage of this ad hoc network also. So it has n number of applications at present. Okay, it is also applicable in the emergency and the disaster wearable. Emergency disaster management always uses this kind of devices in where particular disaster is already happened. They deploy various sensors to save the human life. They detect the oxygen and the carbon dioxide emission. And if they are detected, then they can find the human body inside particular building. Just like if any building is collapsed and they have to perform the rescue operation, they firstly deploy the oxygen sensor in the particular destructive structure of the building, and if any kind of any oxygen or carbon dioxide is detected, then they will conduct their rescue operation at particular place so that they can at least save the human life. Okay, wearable computing nowadays it is very popular, because you can also take the advantage of computing on your hand. Okay, what does it mean? There are various kind of sensors and various kind of wearable watches are available which can monitor your body temperature. You can monitor your blood pressure, and many things can be also be monitored, just like your sleeping time, your active calorie loss, and most of the applications are nowadays available. Mm, And one more thing, they can also deploy some kind of body sensor inside your body, and they can also monitor the thing. By wearing this kind of wearable device, you can control through the mobile phone. You can generate the call, you can receive the call, you can text to someone. Okay, lots of benefits. Okay, Battlefield. Okay, Battlefield has lots of advantage of ad-hoc network because they don't rely on the infrastructure. Because at the border area, it is really impossible to create any infrastructure, and from this infrastructure, uh, they can get the services. But in this case, the army or the military network, they don't create this kind of infrastructure. So they totally rely on the ad hoc kind of application. Okay, the single link or multiple link communication they can create from the tank to the jet, helicopter, or the groundly deploy military persons, okay, or the army person. They can communicate with each other. They can report to nearby base, okay, by using this ad hoc network links. Because we are not creating or infrastructure, because infrastructure can be captured by the other or militant group, so that's why this is not acceptable or adopted by the military and the army application. Okay. So hybrid or the multi-hop cellular network, where we can take the advantage of both the things, just like WiMAX. And wireless mesh network is a special case where the connectivity is very, very large. And the sensor network, we have seen example in the previous slide. So this kind of application are possible of with the help of the ad hoc kind of network. Here you can see the military example where groundly deploy army person can communicate with the tank and jeep and the uh, UAV or unmanned aerial vehicle or drone, and they are also connected through the satellite so that they can communicate very easily. Okay, and another example here you can see that on the right side it is example of the smart city. Okay, smart city has lots of example. I think in the previous session we have seen lots of examples of the smart city. Now here the law and enforcement officer or the policeman is having lots of electronic gadget, and he has electronic glasses which has capacity or detect any violation, and it has also recording facility. Okay, he has remote or a speaker phone or microphone to talk and to give the information to the oth- other team. Okay, biomonitoring, lags. Okay, gun holster sensor. Most of the equipment nowadays equipped to the law and enforcement officers. Okay, so other applications are the facility management. Okay, they can detect the chemical leakage inside the chemical plant. अभी हाल फिलहाल आपने देखा होगा कि जो कौन सी कंट्री में एक बहुत बड़ा केमिकल ब्लास्ट हुआ था. Okay, so this can be protected with the help of this kind of leakage. If leakage mechanism can be detected on time, then this kind of biggest incident can be protected. And IDS or intrusion detection in the industry side can be protected. Machine surveillance system to monitor the vehicle and vehicle wheel in the train, in the bus, or any kind of vehicle. We can monitor the tire pressure nowadays. Okay, precision agriculture, I think we have seen the example of the humidity sensor or any pesticide information. We can capture the crop images so that we can analyze particular crop is suffering from any kind of disease or not. And medicine and the healthcare has biggest advantage in the manner they can remotely monitor the patient without 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 transformation of a particular doctor or the patient, because patient can't move frequently to the hospital, and doctors are also limited. They can also monitor their patient remotely. Okay, logistics. Most of the logistics and warehouse, and they are managing their inventory with the help of sensor. Nowadays, you are getting exact information of the parcel which is courier by Amazon or the Flipkart. And telematics, obviously, telematics has lots of advantage um, in this area of mobile ad hoc network, just like intelligent roadside system, vehicular ad hoc network, car sensor are also deployed inside the car to provide better safety and better user experience. Okay. Now sensor network. Sensor network, I think you can understand what exactly the sensor network is. In case of sensor network, the deployment rate, okay, the number of node which we are deploying to a specific reason are very very large. Okay. Nowadays, if we are imagining any kind of smart house or smart city, then without of this sensor node, we can't create the next generation network. Okay. If we are interested to automate the city network, automate the home operations or the home smart home operation, in this case situation also, the sensors are really really useful asset to deploy the next generation network. So what is the actually sensor network? So first of all the sensor network deployment rate are very very high. ओके, अगर आप कहीं मोबाइल एडॉक के 10 नोड डिप्लॉय करते हैं तो इन केस ऑफ सेंसर नेटवर्क द रेट इज ऑलमोस्ट मोर देन 100 और नियर बाय 1000. Okay, if this much of node you will deploy inside the forest field, inside the agriculture field, so that you can easily monitor the mud temperature or humidity or oxygen sensor inside the forest field so that you can detect the fire and you can easily protect it. And what exactly the benefit of the sensor? Sensor, because sensor is a low cost, low power and the multifunctional. Low cost, it is necessary because the number of deployment are really large and density is large, then definitely we have to reduce down the cost. And second thing, low power. Because once you will deploy the sensor inside any kind of field, you are not able to change the batteries because they are also battery operated most of the time. Okay, hardly they have some kind of solar mechanism to charge their batteries. But if you will deploy the solar panel on the sensor, then it will also increase the cost. So we have to limit the cost and cut the cost. Then one-time deployment, generally the sensor networks are. So generally they are equipped with one-time battery. So battery is not replaceable. We can't even recover our sensors. We are assuming that if we are deploying 500 sensor, the 50 sensor won't work at the time of deployment even. Okay, so this is the rate of the deployment at the initial state also, because most of the forest sensors are deployed with the help of helicopter or any specific mechanism. They most of the time also damaged, and there is no mechanism to collect it and repair it and then configure it again. Okay, the low cost mechanism is to deploy the sensor and forget it. And multifunctional because they are able to perform uh, multitask, just like they are able to sense the temperature, humidity, as well as they are also forwarding information to nearby node so that it will reach to the destination or the sync node. Okay, so what are the key issues? Key issues are the scalability, power consumption, fault tolerance are also there because there is a case when some sensing node are not giving proper information, some sensing node are giving proper information. This is also known as the false alarm. Just like you have deployed various fire sensor inside your house, or then one of the sensor is giving fire alarm. Okay, if it is given by some of the sensor or sorry one sensor, then definitely uh, you will also feel panic. Yes, my house has some kind of fire. Then you can also verify manually whether exactly the fire is. Okay, ऐसा भी हो सकता है कि it is a just false alarm, so you have to replace particular sensor. So fault tolerance is also necessary if you have if you have deployed multiple sensor, then you can check this information easily. Yes, कि one alarm तो दे रहा है, but you have deployed 10 more sensor, but they are not alarming. Okay, but it doesn't mean that it has not fire. हो सकता है कि it is location dependent. आपने जिस रूम में लगाया उस रूम में फायर हो. But in case of forest field, generally we took the collective decision. है ना, एक सेंसर पे बेस पर we can't take the decision कि it is suffered from the fire. Okay, the low throughput and the delay sensitive because it has very limited computational facility and the battery life. If you will process most of the data from the sensor, then sensor battery will be down and your sensor network will be down very easily. Okay, so this is the case in case of the sensor network. Okay, ad hoc network issues are also there. Every layer has some kind of issues. Just like if you are considering MAC layer, then distributed time synchronization, directional antenna in case of routing, route acquisition delay, quick implementation, loop free, multicast routing is also one of the biggest issue because we are interested to forward our packet to multiple nodes together. Okay, transport layer in the because transport layer is very necessary because wireless network always suffer from frequent path break. Okay, एक side से connectivity है but some two nodes are not connected well. Okay, in this situation your ad hoc network will be down. So multiplicity or the multiple links are also we have to check alternative path, and as well as we have to recover our path. Not necessarily our path is break for permanently. We have to check whether we are able to recover the path or not. Okay, quality of service has lots of parameters in which we can consider better throughput, better delay rate, and jitter. Okay, these are the some of the quality of service parameter in which user can experience better quality of service. Now self-organization, because once you will deploy, it will automatically managed by ad hoc network. So neighbor discovery, reported link failure. uh, The biggest point in the ad hoc network is the security because ad hoc network is a wireless one. There is no central entity to check or verify users. So we have to deploy our algorithm in such a manner so that we can verify the unauthorized access to the system. Just like anyone can deploy DOS attack, jamming, or energy depletion kind of attack so that our network will be down. Energy management is necessary because they are equipped with the battery, so we have to save our battery and the processing power. Addressing and the service discovery is necessary because we have to identify and each node globally and locally also. The pricing scheme is also one of the uh, economical way to create or establish our ad hoc or sensor network. Okay, so what is the cellular versus ad hoc thing, or what are the differences between these two things? Cellular is the fixed infrastructure based and single hop network, multi hop. Sorry, in ad hoc network it can be multi hop, and in case of cellular, it's centralized routing. In case of ad hoc, the distributed routing will work. Base station has single point of failure. If base station is down, you can't able to create or generate call. But in case of ad hoc network, one link is failed, your ad hoc network will always exist. Okay. Now seamless connectivity is necessary in case of the cellular. In case of the ad hoc network, sorry, seamless connectivity will be provided by the cellular. In case of ad hoc network, if mobility is high, then definitely the frequent path loss, the ad hoc network will fail, and the high cost and the long deployment time, because you can see that if we are interested to establish the cellular network, then we have to deploy various parameters, just like we have to deploy BTS, BSC, MSC, then only we can uh, make the communication. But ad hoc network is not the case. We have to on our interface only and we are able to communicate. So it is applicable in the cellular sector, but in case of ad hoc network, most of the defense, emergency, and disaster level applications are there. Okay, simple mobile and complex base, because the mobile has not facility to perform complex operation. Complex operation burden we can give to the tower or the BTS, okay, base transceiver center. So we will give this complexity and computing facility, or we are just encouraging our BTS or tower to perform all the operation, not mobile phone. But in case of add-on network, your mobile phone or the central node will perform all the operation. Okay, that is the difference. No forwarding fairness issue, because fairness it means the tower is not depreciating users. Yes, you are the prioritized user and you are not. In case of the ad hoc network, the priority issue may be there, yes, the selfies and the cooperating node. And time synchronous, here the cellular follow the TDMA scheme, whereas in case of ad hoc network, the CSMA scheme is popular. Okay, so static frequency reuse we have seen in the last lecture, where frequency can be utilized in other cells also. And here dynamic frequency use of CSMA is used in case of the ad hoc network. So it is all about the cellular versus ad hoc. And we have seen different kind of network, ad hoc, sensor, hybrid, cellular, and their applications also. Okay, so layer-wise various issues are also there. I think we have discussed in the previous slide. But these are some of the issue layer-wise if you are interested to see, just like the handover is the issue of the network layer, or the quality of service is the issue of the transport layer, and so on. Okay, so the most interesting part which I am really interested to cover in this session or in the half session is the mobile IP. Okay, so mobile IP, as the name suggests, mobile, it means the movable, and IP is the internet protocol. Whenever any device is connected to internet, it will definitely get the IP address. Okay, अगर आप किसी भी एक डिवाइस को नेटवर्क से कनेक्ट करोगे तो डेफिनेटली उसको एक आइडेंटिटी मिलेगी विच इज नथिंग बट विच इज इक्वल टू योर इंटरनेट प्रोटोकॉल और आईपी एड्रेस. Okay, so IP address may be IPv4 version which has 32 bit and IPv6 version which is 128 bit. Okay, so nowadays both addressing schemes uh, are actually are in use to identify the device uniquely. Okay, why we are identifying the device? Because we have to make the communication with which with the server or with the specific device. We have to forward some kind of information, and it is also necessary to perform various kind of routing to identify the user. So this is very useful component. Okay, mobile IP. But mobile IP generally is the terminology generally refer with the mobile communication generations. So what exactly the meaning is? So we will try to cover in this session addressing issue related to mobile host and need of the care of address. Okay? And two agents. Okay, we will try to discuss two agent, home agent and the foreign agent, and what are the working of these two agents, how they integrate and how they communicate, and we will also see the differences between the mobile host and the remote host with respect to the operations, agent discovery, registration, and data transfer. And in the end, we will see two most important aspects, that is the double crossing and the triangular routing. Okay, so these are the some of the issues which we will try to discuss in the half of the session. Now, addressing is a very important context or issue inside the mobile communication to identify the mobile your phone uniquely. Okay, that's why the internet protocol is used. So we have two things: stationary host and the mobile host. The stationary host won't create much problem because once you will deploy any kind of static node, it is not movable. So you have to assign a address, and there is no problem with the address. Each and every time you can communicate with this address only. But in case of the mobile host, what does it mean, mobile host? It means the host is movable. It is not the part of the home network now. It is away from the home network, just like you are away from this state. Rajasthan से आप कहीं और हैं. Okay. In this situation, you will consider as the mobile host, and you are trying to utilize the internet services. Okay, this is a very common case in every generation because you will definitely go to outside as a roaming user and you are accessing, then how these services will be provided, because in the home network the home IP address will be assigned to you. But in the case of foreign network or any other roaming network, any different address mechanism is there. So uh, in this in this session we will try to solve this kind of problem. Now, what is the node? The node is the IP addresses are designed to work with the stationary host. Okay, because we can assign the IP address to any static host, there is no problem at all. So, because the part of the address defines the network to which the host is attached. If you will see the IP address, whether it belongs to class A, class B, or class C, so we always seen the network ID field and the host ID field. So generally IP address assigned to the stationary node because it has the part of the network ID or the host inside the uh, address fields. Okay, so generally they are designed in such a manner, but they are not designed for the mobile host, then this is the biggest problem. So here you can see that two addresses, we have home address and the care of address. So we have home network, we can say just like Rajasthan network, and we have foreign network of the Delhi network. Now here your device, your mobile phone got the identity 131.5.24.8 and the subnetting we have 16. Okay, this is the home address within the Rajasthan we are getting. Okay, now we are moving to Delhi region and Delhi में क्या हो जाएगा हमारे लिए वो फॉरेन नेटवर्क है और द रोमिंग नेटवर्क है. In this case, this home address is same because we can't change it, but here we are trying to utilize the internet services. Okay, because our host is moved to other place. That's why the mobile host terminology will come into the picture. If it is a mobile host and you are utilizing services inside the roam or roaming, in this situation, a different address is assigned to you, which will take care about your movement. Or that's why it is this address is known as the care of address because you are away from your house or your home network, then this address will provide you facility to utilize the internet services in the roaming area. Okay, this is the case. Now if care of address or the home address are equal, then you can say that your home host or the home host is equal to the mobile host. It means you are available at your home network only. Okay? So mobile IP has two address for a mobile host. One is home address, another is care of address. The home address is the permanent, which we can't change, and the care of address changes if mobile is moving from A network to the B network or any other network to the any other foreign or the roam network. Okay, in this way you can understand. So to provide this facility, we have to design or we have to take or we have to specifically take decision about two agents. That is the home agent, which will take care about the all operation inside the home region, and the foreign agent. Foreign agent will also provide you help when this mobile host is away from the home network. Okay, to make the changes of the address transparent to the rest of the internet, require a home agent and the foreign agent. So what exactly the home agent and the foreign agent? So here you can see that home agent is just generally a router in between the home network and the internet. Similarly, foreign agent again is a router in between the internet and the foreign or the other or the roam network. In this situation, all the operation within the home address can be managed by the home agent, and all the operation of the other network can be managed by the other foreign agent. So it has okay, each and every foreign network or each and every roaming network has its own foreign agent. Just like ये अभी जो होम एजेंट इज मूविंग सॉरी होम एजेंट इज मूविंग टू द फॉरेन एजेंट देन फॉरेन एजेंट वन होगा फॉरेन एजेंट टू भी हो सकता है जस्ट लाइक इफ यू आर मूविंग from Rajasthan to Madhya Pradesh or to Uttar Pradesh or Delhi. Okay, in this situation, each and every foreign agent of this state will be different. So foreign agent of Delhi is different, foreign agent of UP is different, foreign agent of Maharashtra is different, and so on. Okay. So when the mobile host and the foreign agent are the same, the care of address is called the collocated care of address because they are same. In this situation, we can say that the care of address is equal to your home address. Now we have three phases. Okay, so in the three phases we have agent discovery, registration, and the data transfer. In the first phases, all three nodes are involved. In the second phases, uh, only in the registration involve mobile host and the two agent. In the third case, remote host is also involved in the previous case. So we can also communicate by utilizing this kind of three important phases: agent discovery, registration, and the data transfer. It means how we will make the discovery of particular agent. Okay, nearby agent we have to search to provide the services, and after getting it we have to we have to register our mobile host on the particular agent, and then only we are able to transfer our data to the remote host. Okay, this is the mechanism. So we can consider these three parameter: agent discovery, registration, and the data transfer. And we have mobile host when at home agent, foreign agent, mobile host after move. Okay, this is the another situation, and the remote host. Just consider the case when the mobile host is at home. अगर होम में है या होम नेटवर्क में है तो देयर इज नो प्रॉब्लम. It will send the message to the nearby home agent solicitation message, and home agent will reply there is no problem of any kind of foreign agent. So he will directly tell give you the information about the agent advertisement, or I am the agent of particular transaction. Okay, just consider the case when the mobile host is away from the home. Okay, in this case, definitely the mobile host can't directly reach to the home agent. So nearby service agent is the foreign agent. So mobile host after the movement, he has to reply to the foreign agent by sending the agent solicitation or the agent discovery messages. Now foreign agent will give the information about the agent advertisement. Yes, I am the available agent. Just make registration with me, and so that I can forward your information to your corresponding home. Now this information will get to the mobile host. Then mobile host के बाद में this phase will be completed, which is agent discovery. Now if the mobile host is away, then registration request first it is forwarded from the mobile host to the foreign agent, and then foreign agent will forward this information to the home agent. Okay, then registration will be completed, and we have verified the user, just like we can verify the visitor location register by taking help from the home location register of the corresponding home network. Okay, so registration reply will get to the mobile host. Now it is successfully registered. Registered user we have verified. Then only we can make the data transmission from the mobile host to the remote host. Okay, so this is the three-step mechanism which has agent discovery, the registration, and the data transfer. Okay, so mobile IP doesn't use a new packet type for a agent advertisement और एजेंट सॉलिसिटेशन मैसेज, दोनों ही चीजों के लिए देयर इज नो रिक्वायरमेंट ऑफ न्यू पैकेट. Okay, so how this mobile IP will forward this information by utilizing the ICMP packet. Okay, so router advertisement of the ICMP and appends an agent advertisement message. Okay, so this is the ICMP packet format of the advertising message, and we have specific code byte 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 0 is the registration required, 1 is agent busy, and so on. So this is the ICMP advertisement packet, and we can forward the agent advertisement by using this packet format. And similarly, we have agent reply. So mobile IP does not use any new packet for the agent solicitation. It uses the router solicitation packet of the ICMP. For this purpose, this is the packet format of the registration request, okay, of the ICMP. And here we can see the field home address, home agent address, care of address, and the identification and the extension. Similarly, here we have also bits 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and they have some specific use to provide the reply to the specific request. Okay, so this is the reply format of the registration. So it uses UDP port number 434 for replying or for forwarding request to any specific mobile agent. Okay, so what exactly the data transfer, how data transfer is performed in this scenario? Okay, when your mobile host is away from the home network, on the left side you can see the home network, home agent. On the right side you can see the foreign agent and the foreign network. So your mobile phone is totally away from the home, but it is connected to the internet. So if two hosts, just like if you are opening any kind of website on your mobile terminal, what will happen? So in this situation, your foreign agent will connect to the home agent first, then it will transfer, or when the registration is completed, then only you can directly connect it to the remote host. So you can see the example in the first state, the remote host will send the data packet request to the home agent. But here the home agent can easily verify the particular mobile host is not available inside the home network. So it forward the information to the foreign network where your mobile host is situated. Okay. Now he will get the mobile host in the third step. Yes, this is, and afterward they can make the communication. Mobile host and the remote host, they can make the communication directly. So this is the four-step process in which we can perform the data transmission. Okay, so it is taking time because we have to specifically contact to the home agent, then home agent to the foreign agent, and so on. Then only we can perform this kind of data transfer. So the moment of the mobile host is transparent to the rest of the internet by using this kind of technique. Now we have two inefficient or two inefficiencies in the mobile IP, okay, which is known as the double crossing and the triangular routing or the dog leg routing. What does it mean? What are the double crossing and the triangle routing? Because we have to route our packet to the remote host, to the mobile host. Each and every time we have to perform this kind of thing. Although we have direct path, but still we are going through the home network, then foreign network will verify the mobile node, and then mobile node will transfer the data to the remote host. In this situation, I think you can see that the foreign network has both the things, remote host as well as mobile node. On the right side, you can see that the remote host is also part of the home network, and it has mobile host. Now, in this situation, if they are interested to communicate, then the remote host will first request to the home agent, then home agent will give the information to the mobile host through foreign agent, and they will make the communication. Okay. Now here you can see that there is direct path where it is written could be a path, because they are on the same network, they can communicate directly, but they are approaching through home agent and the foreign agent, and they are communicating with each other. So this step is known as the double crossing. Okay, here we can see the path, but we are not using it due to the environment of the mobile IP. Okay, so in the next generation network, we have just observed this information, and we have also seen if they are on the same network, then they can directly, sorry, okay, so they can able to communicate directly via this link. Now the case of the triangle routing or triangular routing, in this case, you can see that both foreign agent and the remote network are separate. Okay. Now in this situation also, if remote host is want to send information, or mobile host is also interested to send information, then first step is always same. The remote host will send the information to the home agent, and the home agent to foreign agent, and then to the mobile host. Okay, so this is the path 1, 2, and 3. But here you can see that this home network and the foreign network can also be communicated directly via this link, via this dotted link. So unnecessarily they have to follow a triangle. That's why it is known as the triangle routing. Okay, these are the flaw inside the mobile IP. We can say we have to verify explicitly to every time if mobile host is away from the home network. So we always forward packet or corresponding packet to home, and then home will identify where the mobile host is. Then only we forward all the packet to the respective location. Okay, so we can minimize in the next generation network. We have minimized this thing. Okay, these things are really carefully well. Okay, by identify specifically each and every node through the IPv6 addressing scheme, and geographically if they are connected, or logically they are connected in the same group, or they are nearby, so that they can also reduce down the routing cost. Okay, in this manner you can understand if they are taking long path. If it is long path, then definitely it will take long time. Okay, so to reduce this cost, in this situation, We can also avoid this situation in case of the next generation network. But for time being, in case of the mobile IP, it suffer from this problem. Okay, so here we can see that direct path is available, but we are not referring it. In case of previous example, in case of the double crossing, even your remote host is a part of your foreign network, but still we are not using direct link. We are always communicating via home agent to verify this mobile host because it is not a part of it. Okay, so ultimately we can say that the home address is permanent one and which is really effective in case of every routing. Okay, so I am stopping at this point, and if is there any question related to the mobile IP and the type of the network, you can also uh, ask inside the chat box. Your questions are welcome. Okay, is there any question?
Sir, I think no any query.
Yes, please ask.
So I think no any query from participant side.
Okay, okay, sir. Then there is no problem. If you have any specific query, you can also approach me through mail or through phone. No problem. So thank you, student and participants, for this session, and we will conduct our last session tomorrow.
Thank you so much, sir.